Hey, everybody. Welcome to another episode of Who Invited Her. We are San Diego's LGBTQ pop culture podcast. I'm your host, Tony, and I'm here with my other host.
Hey, I'm Daddy Bear Eric.
Yes, you guys are back for another week. Oh, you know what? We have like 2 episodes left of the season.
I know.
This episode and then next week.
I know. This
And we're
year's
done.
gone by so fast.
Oh, we were just talking about that.
Yeah.
Yeah, you guys. So housekeeping stuff. We are actually going to be on break till October 1st.
Yes.
And Eric and I we're going on a big European trip. No,
Yeah,
we're gonna
European gay vacation.
Yeah, we're
Yes.
going to Croatia for 17 days. At least I will be there for 17 days. You
Yeah.
come a couple
I
days
think I'm
after
like
me?
13 days.
Yeah. We're doing Dubrovnik, and then we're going to Split, and then we're getting on a boat and go to the islands. And
Yeah, we're on
it's
a
gonna
catamaran.
It's going to be fun. I'm excited.
Yeah.
This will be the first trip out of the country since 2019 for me.
Yeah.
For you,
Yeah.
no, you're
Well,
in Mexico every
every
weekend.
hour.
Yeah. Does that count since we're in San Diego and it's like our sister country?
Right. I mean, I don't know.
I always have thought of like TJ as part of California
It
because I
really
grew up
is.
here. Do
Yeah.
you know what I mean?
No, it really feels like, I mean, they even, like everywhere, you can almost pay everywhere in dollars. It's like almost part of the U.S.
True.
Yeah.
I'm excited for the trip. I think we're gonna have a great time. It'll be nice to not have to work, and I love doing the
Yeah.
podcast, but having to put a show together every week, it'll be nice to have a little bit of a break.
Yeah.
But we will have so much content when we come back.
I know.
So-
You know what I'm really looking forward
What?
to? Not having cell phone reception and like not wanting to check social media. Like,
I know.
like actually fully being
Relax.
unchained from my phone.
I know. I hear you.
Yeah.
That's gonna be interesting
I know.
for both of us.
Yes. Yes.
Are you gonna survive without Caesar for 13 days?
I
Since
know,
you guys are
I'm-
joined at the hip right now.
I know. I'm really sad. He's really sad that it's
Are you
gonna
have
be
withdrawals?
tough.
Are you gonna have the shakes? and,
It'll
like-
be interesting, especially because there'll be times I will not have cell phone service. Like
There will be times when you will go a whole day probably not being able to
I know.
contact your other limb. That's not there. You have ghost pains.
I know. So it'll be interesting. I mean, it'll be new for us.
Yeah, and Caesar's always our studio audience. How are you? 1 through 10. How much are you looking forward to him going? He held up no finger, so he's not looking forward to him going. Not even a 1. It was a half a knuckle. But yeah, so we have this show and then the next show, and I think producer Rob might be making an appearance on our final one.
Special guest.
My ex-producer of the show. We'll catch up with Rob. We're still really good friends. But he's coming into town, I think, next weekend. He gets here for a couple days.
Nice.
Yeah.
That'll be good.
I know. I'm like, still in Michigan. I'm like, good for you, kid.
Oh.
I know.
Yeah.
Oh, anything new this week that you did?
Last night I went to Kettner Exchange for a
Yes.
coworker's birthday. That was my first time going there. It was actually really like a really beautiful place, like really well
Here in San
designed
Diego,
here in
yeah.
San Diego and Little Italy. And the
beautiful.
DJ was phenomenal. We had so much fun dancing to the music and like
What were they playing?
it was all like just I don't know EDM, but like there were like some disco beats thrown in there and like some 90s like CeCe Peniston like in there, and I'm like, this is
You sure that wasn't a gay
I know.
bar?
I was like, this is kind of gay. This is really
Kinda.
gayish. Yeah, and then so after we had been pushed and shoved enough, we left and went to Born and Raised and
I
had a
love
drink there.
Born and Raised.
I know.
If you guys come to San Diego, Born and Raised in UTC, yeah.
No.
Is there-
Born and Raised, the one in Little Italy.
Oh, the Little Italy.
Yeah, with
just
all the wood in the inside. Yeah.
Yeah.
Same restaurant group though. They own. You're thinking of Raised by Wolves.
Raised by Wolves is the one I'm thinking. Yeah.
Yeah.
Born and Raised is very. Now I know which one you're talking about. Okay, that one's so cute inside.
Yeah.
Raised by Wolves is an experience. If you come to San Diego, go to UTC. I'm not gonna give it away, but it is a full experience
Yeah.
if you come.
Yeah. Definitely.
I remember when my firefighter Steven took me there for the first time. I was like, "Why are we here?" He's like, "Oh, Just wait. Just wait.
I did the same thing for
Oh,
Caesar.
yeah?
Yeah.
It's a cool spot.
I'm like, let's go into the store and look at the alcohol.
Yeah, that's how yeah, exactly. Because they have like whiskey and all of that. And I'm like, okay, we're looking at fancy alcohol. Cool.
Yeah.
But this week I ended up going, I think it was Thursday night. They have during the summer here in San Diego, at Balboa Park, different concerts at the Oregon Pavilion. And for people who don't know, Balboa Park was built for the World's Fair back in 1802. I don't know what date it was, but for the World's Fair. So they kept it after all of that. And they actually have a gigantic organ that is played during the holidays. They put on concerts. But during the summer, they have free concerts and they bring in different musicians and whatnot. But on Thursday, it was a mariachi band that came. And I believe I have their name somewhere.
Well, while you're doing that, I'm going to tell a really bad
Go ahead.
joke.
While I pull them up.
What is better than roses on your piano?
I thought you were going to say penis.
What is better than roses on your piano, Tony?
I don't know what.
Tulips on your organ.
Oh my God, are you serious? Are you fucking kidding me? Wow. That was tulips on your organ. Wow. Okay. You know what? We got to do a segment where we just tell each other dad jokes.
The worst dad jokes.
The worst. And the first person to laugh gets a pie in the face or something stupid like that on camera. It was a mariachi Estrella, I can't read that. It's small. From Chula Vista. They were actually really good.
Oh, awesome.
They were really young. There was one of the members, a girl. Her voice was insane.
Yeah.
Yeah, and they played for about an hour, and it was packed.
Yeah.
We were literally standing in the back because there was no seating. And it's a big, like, little venue.
It's a big venue.
And it's a free concert. During the summer, they do that. They bring in different local groups, different types of music. And so in Balboa Park, they have little houses for each, what is it, like, nationality. Like they'll have the Mexican Latino house, then they have Japanese, a bunch of different countries. And so during the summer, these different houses, I forget what they're called in Balboa Park, but they'll have it on the website. They sponsor music from their part of the world, and they bring in the musicians.
So cool.
And yeah. And then they do these free concerts at the park. It was fun.
Yeah.
But we went to the Prada for drinks before.
Ooh, yeah. I like that. Yeah.
Which, if you come to San Diego, check out the Prada. It's actually the restaurant that's in Balboa Park. They have a good happy hour.
Yeah.
It was fun.
I got drunk with Bashi there one time.
I've been drunk there so many times, especially if you go to the Old Globe Theater to see a show before. Oh, go there for happy hour. Panama 66. They have really good beer there. But yeah, it was a nice night out in San Diego.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's all I did this week. It was like a very slow week.
I know.
I haven't even really been out. I've been planning for this freaking trip. You know what I mean? You too.
Did we went out last weekend? Where did we go? I don't remember.
I don't know. Oh, you went to the wrestling themed party. Okay,
right.
Our audience members. There is a straight friend of ours who insists on having. Was it for his dog?
No, it was his birthday.
Oh, thank God.
It wasn't. Yeah.
So he has birthday parties for his dog, which I think is insane, and we've talked about on the show.
His dog Bijou.
So he was actually on our show before Brown Delicious. He did a theme party, and it was wrestling.
It was wrestling.
Yeah, and I remember he sent me the flyer. It was the gayest flyer I've ever seen for a straight party. I thought it was a night at Rich's. Yeah. I was like, okay.
Yeah, it kind of did. Yeah.
How was the party?
It was a lot of fun. Were
you the only gays?
Yeah, we were.
Were you representing?
Yeah, we were the only gays. We showed up. So first of all, like the flyer said, like if you are not dressed up, you cannot get in. Like it was that intense of like.
Oh, I see.
So we went all out.
Yeah.
Like we've been planning for. There's WhatsApp chats and Instagram chat. Like we've been planning. So we get there and we saw this couple walk up that are dressed in regular clothing, and all three of us, because we went with our friend Janika, panic like, did we just overdo it? Like, did we go too over the top?
Did the gays overdo it? That was the question. What is the answer? Yes, of course.
So we walk in, and there were some people that were over the top, but there was definitely people not over the top.
Oh,
so.
the duck ones.
Yeah,
Yeah. I was like,
I guess that's a
okay.
reference from Always Sunny in Philadelphia. Yeah.
That show.
Yeah. So I don't watch that one, but yeah, it was a lot of fun. It was, it was wacky.
It's wacky. Speaking of wacky, last week we talked about Beyonce's new album.
Right.
There was so much drama
she had
since
a
last week when we were talking about the release of Renaissance. And we gave our opinions in depth about the album. And I've taken more than one listen to it. I haven't changed my things. I think I really wish she would have done a album that was completely original, her own work. Like she wrote and did new songs. You know what I mean? This felt like... I know people are doing all Twitter giving drama about the 24 writers on one song and sampling and all that. Still, I'm like, why can't it just say song written by Beyonce and leave it at that?
Yeah.
Like, come on, Beyonce.
Yeah.
You're talented enough to do that.
Yeah. I mean, it's got to be stressful. I can't imagine.
I guess. So you're all caught up on the drama with that.
I find this album release so fascinating because Beyonce has been the queen of releasing albums in a new way, flawlessly. No one knows about them. They're huge. Literally, like she could write the book on how an album release should be done.
Yeah, except
this one is not happening that way.
No, because there were even leaks in the UK before, and she was like...
So it leaked 2 days early, and they were debating whether they were going to launch it early because they didn't want people to start downloading it, and so they decided to keep the same day, so 2 days later. So that was the first mishap, and then... it came out that some of the lyrics in one of the song, and the word that Beyonce used was spaz, it came out that I guess Lizzo had just changed the song a few months ago on one of hers, because it's ableism and
ableism.
It's attacking people with disabilities.
I remember. Reading that.
So she pulled the song and then...
pulled the song or changed the lyric?
Now pulled it and then changed it and then replaced it with one with a different lyric.
Oh, okay.
So that happened. And then a few days later, there was some tweets sent out from Kelis.
Yes.
Who did originally the Milkshake song, which...
the la la, la la. Yeah.
Yeah, and so that was used as a sample in one of her songs. So Kelis had some drama.
She had words.
It was good.
That. It was. I was like, ooh, where's my popcorn? I'm going to sit back for this one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So what happened with that is that originally Kelis says that she helped write the original version of Milkshake, but was never credited on it. So, and really her beef is kind of with Pharrell, because Pharrell was one of the other writers on Milkshake.
And the way the contract was, he kind of fucked her over. For lack of a better word, he fucked her over.
Yeah, so she doesn't get any licensing rights going on. So her beef was that it still was her song. She was never notified that her song was going to be used. And the first time she found out about it was listening to the song herself.
But wasn't
on launch day.
There's stuff saying that Beyonce did credit her as like one of the...
it's not credited. She is not credited
as
on
not a writer, but as a performer.
No, Pharrell is credited as the writer on the song. And so
because Brooklyn Heights sent out this tweet today, actually, like a couple hours ago, I was following it on there, pretty much going into detail and saying how Kelis, she was credited as a performer and she was going to get royalties, but now Beyonce took her off of it. So you shot yourself in the foot. And then in the comments, of course, people were like, no, she actually wasn't credited. This is all false. And then people were like, well, she's credited as a performer, just like T.S. Madison was on another song. She would be getting royalties. And they were like, but she never got any, even as a performer.
I don't think she gets royalties from the streaming of Beyonce's song as the performer. She'll get it from her own song, if that version gets played, but not if it gets used and sampled in another song.
And somebody in the tweets brought up a good point, and they were like, well, the bottom line is if Beyonce knew they were going to sample that song. Why didn't she just reach out to Kelis and say, hey, we're going to do this. This is okay. Or invite her to do a collab with her.
Well, and so Kelis further goes on to say that she thinks that, so her tweet is amazing. It starts to say that there are so many bullies in the music industry that there's people out there that could just go take whatever they want and use whatever they want. And I'm like, ooh, where's the popcorn?
Oh, but God, God, the Beehive fans, they worship her. They think she's a god.
Yeah.
She's not. She's a human.
So,
but the thing is people were commenting on this tweet from Brooklyn Heights, and then Beyonce's fans started turning it into a race thing. And as somebody who's reading this, I'm like, I see it as a musician, a music, an industry thing,
an
and
art.
one art. Yeah. As an artist myself, one artist put something out, and a piece of that work was taken from another, and without a credit, that sucks. That's what it's about.
Yeah,
not about the comments. I was like, you people need to calm the fuck down.
She then further goes on to say that Pharrell is a bully, and she thinks this was done intentionally to get back at her.
Talk about
these
drama,
are fighting words.
And then Diane Warwick, the what's it called? She's a Grammy, Emmy, Oscar-winning songwriter. She put a tweet out saying 24 writers for one song. Because on Alien, I forget the Alien
Superstar,
she has 24 writers listed. And I saw it, not knowing the music business, I was like, so Beyonce didn't write that song? Who wrote that song? Like, why is it 24? Was it 24 people sitting around a table going, you put this word in, you put this sentence,
each writer does like every 24 words. They had one.
Yeah. The beat. One puts one beat, the other one does another. I was like, that's kind of crazy.
Yeah. So
I miss the days when you would get an album come out and you would see the name of the song and then the actual artist is the only writer listed. I
know, but everyone wants a pop hit. So
yeah, everybody wants a pop hit. So I guess it takes 24 people to make a pop hit.
I guess so.
But I mean, I'm not a fan of Beyonce's. I love a lot of her early work, but I feel like this album just hit the mark for me personally. And that has nothing to do with like her as a person. It was just, it's her art. She put her art out there, and it's going to get criticized, and people are going to have good opinions and bad opinions.
Yeah.
And the people who are bagging on the people with bad opinions, you need to sit down and let them have their opinions, just like you're having yours.
Right.
Be grown ups.
So that Kelis sampled song has been pulled. It is no longer. It is no longer available.
But that trauma.
I know, and maybe there's no such thing as bad PR.
Yeah.
So maybe look how much time we've given her to talk about this album.
I know, Jesus.
We've just promoted it.
I know so much.
So there's no such thing as bad drama.
In other celebrity news, Pete Davidson and Kim Kardashian.
I saw that.
And didn't he just get a tattoo of her?
And I think the kids too, as well.
It says
the kid's name on it.
I've been down that road personally. It's the kiss of death. Never do
You
it.
have tattoos of someone.
Yeah, my ex's initials on my shoulder.
Tony.
From my first relationship. Guess what? About a month or so later, we broke up.
No, that's such a bad idea.
I thought I told you this. I know this, fool.
And you've not tried to turn it into something else?
I'm lazy. I'm just lazy.
You've not tried to turn it into an owl or...
An owl? Why an owl? Is that the new...
Owls were really popular for
I know.
a while.
I never got it. I'm like, no owl for me.
The thing I saw, I read this thing on Instagram or, I don't know, Twitter. It was like...
one of those.
It was a tattoo artist saying, please stop asking me to put a clock on your arm. Of the
or a compass on your wrist.
Yeah,
Maddie.
of the time that you were born. Please stop asking me to do that.
Are you fucking kidding me? It's like an old-timey stop,
it
pocket
is.
watch.
The pocket watch. And I was like, I've definitely seen those before. I know exactly what he's talking about.
Or when somebody gets a tattoo of a compass on their wrist. Manny. I'm not naming names. He's gonna kill me.
He's gonna kill you.
But yeah, there was some celebrity gossip happening this week.
Yeah. That Pete Davidson.
I was like, ooh, girl.
I never understood that relationship. I don't get what the attraction is.
I don't either, to be honest.
Very generic looking.
Oh, and since we're on the topic of that, this was a good conversation between me and the kid this morning.
Okay.
So John Leguizamo speaks out against James Franco reportedly being cast as Fidel Castro, saying he ain't Latino, and went on this big, which I have to agree with. And this is the thing, John Leguizamo on his own, amazing actor.
I agree.
The work he has done as an actor,
yeah,
he's phenomenal. And I was like, what? There's so many
really
good
had
Latino
to
actors.
break out doing that.
No
like
shit.
No one took him seriously. He was just a stand-up comic. They thought he was a joke.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So he went on to say that where is it at? I lost it. Right before the show, I had all this pulled, and then the stupid computer.
Technology ruins our lives. It really does.
Said he pretty much went on to say about how Hollywood doesn't recognize a lot of Latino actors, but steals their narrative.
Yeah.
And I was like, that's true. And so
That's
I
very
asked
true.
the kid who was 26 and he grew up in El Salvador, like, on American TV and shows that you watch, did you see yourself represented at all? And he was like, no.
Yeah.
No, not on American TV.
Yeah.
And I was like, wow, imagine the Latino kids growing up today. Like, who are their role models? I'm curious. Like, who's on TV right now or in movies that is a Latino actor that is in the mainstream besides Jennifer Lopez?
Yeah, I was gonna say.
And Sofia Vergara.
Yeah. There's
Who?
really
Who?
few.
Can you think of, like, that just come to mind like that? That's a household name. Who? Salma Hayek.
Salma
Yeah.
Hayek. Yeah.
But think of all of the actors
Penelope
in
Cruz.
But she hasn't done a lot.
She hasn't
lately.
done anything in a while.
She went back to doing a lot of movies in Spain. She's in the new Pedro Almodovar movie.
Oh.
Yeah, the new one coming out. I can't wait. I think he's such a good director.
Mm-hmm.
But anyway, so John Leguizamo, and I have to agree with him. I was like, he would have been great in the role personally. That's what I thought.
Did you ever watch the JLo documentary?
About the halftime show
on Netflix.
Yes, it was so good.
It was really great, and I think she really pushed on the message of, like, you know, I kind of felt very torn about that. She was complaining that she was not the only headliner, that it had to take two female Latinas in order what one male or what one white person would have done in the past.
It's so true. It's so true.
But then I also was like, I was telling that to somebody else and they challenged me and they were like, well, what about like Aerosmith and Britney Spears and Beyonce and Coldplay? And like, I was like, oh yeah, there were a lot of other artists who did it with other people.
Yeah, but was it two female Latino artists or was it always one woman, one man?
It was one woman, one man.
There you go. It took two female.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And was it two people of color in the past?
No.
So there you go.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
Yeah. So I don't. It was a good documentary.
It was a great documentary. Yeah,
I liked it a lot.
Yeah.
It was. What was I? There was something else that reminded me of, and I lost my thought because I'm old.
Yeah.
Oh well.
Oh
well. Oh gosh. You know what? We're gonna take a quick break.
Yeah.
That's what we're gonna
do.
Yeah, get a refill. And we come back. I have something I read about the Marvel Universe, a movie coming out that I'm super excited about, and a new series dropped last night on Netflix that I was so excited for, and I ended up watching it. It was, you know, when you watch one of the shows and you have such high hopes and you watch the first episode and you're, yes. By the end of the second or third episode, you're like, what the fuck just happened?
Oh, no.
Yeah, so we're going to talk about that because
Okay.
I was just like, this is some bullshit. So now I'm like, do I finish this season? I don't know.
Well, now you got to tell us how it goes.
I know, but we'll be right back, you guys.
If you're watching the show on YouTube, don't forget to hit that subscribe button and give these idiots a like. You can follow the show on Instagram at whoinvitedher_podcast and on Twitter and Facebook at whoinvitedhersd. Visit the show's website at whoinvitedher.net for merchandise and other crap. Now sit back and enjoy the rest of this dumpster fire.
Hey everybody, we're back from break. So what I was thinking, that I lost my train of thought earlier, because we were talking about the halftime show with J-Lo and all of that, was Shakira's in hot water right now.
Oh yes.
Did you read about this?
Yeah, I read the headline. She could go to jail.
She can serve up to 8 years in jail in Spain for evading taxes.
Yes.
Pay your taxes, people.
Pay your taxes.
Oh, did
and then
you see that?
She chose not to settle, so she could have paid her way out of it.
She could have.
She chose not to settle and is going to court. I did read that part.
Oh, okay.
And is deciding to go to court, and if she loses, that's when she can go to jail.
Why would she not just settle? So then she doesn't have that stress.
Right?
I don't know. I don't know.
And I mean, she probably has. She's the writer of her songs. Like, she gets streaming royalties.
Unlike
Beyonce.
Beyonce,
She does
but
not.
anyways, I'm kidding. She writes some of them, and then she needs 24 other people to help her.
Actually, you know who writes
kidding.
some songs for her too? Is for Beyonce is Solange. I think Solange is like the real star of the family.
do too. Do you remember when she did her one album?
Yes.
It was so good.
Yeah, and she's done a lot of collabs.
There's one
fantastic.
song I love where it's just her going, who the fuck are you, or something like that, or what the fuck do you want? And it's Solange, and it's like her, and it was like her in a collab with somebody else. I love it.
Yeah,
it's like one of my favorite songs.
She is such like a I don't know.
I remember when her album came out. That was in the early 2000s. It was a great album.
Yeah,
it really was.
It was all kind of like Diana Ross, like
and very Afro funk kind of sound to it. I loved it. I thought it was great.
I thought it was good.
And then she kind of disappeared.
She started writing music actually, and then she had that one album afterwards, and she won a Grammy for it.
Oh, that's right. I totally forgot about that.
Yeah.
The unknown sister.
Yeah. She's talented.
Yeah, she is. But speaking of talent, well, not really, because we're talking about RuPaul. I'm kidding.
Rattlesnakes.
So we get a week off from RuPaul's Drag Race, but come August 12th, we get RuPaul's Drag Race Celebrity. What do you think about this? They've done it before.
Works me harder than my boss does.
I know. I'm like, girl, we barely got a breather, and now we got to get ready for another.
So many franchises.
I know.
Yeah.
The celebrity, they take a celebrity and put them in drag, and it's like them discovering them, all that bullshit. But which is great. I think it'll be good TV depending on the celebrities.
Great way to pedal back there, Tony.
I'm just like, after the Legends season, I don't know how
how do you do that?
How do you follow up that?
Yeah,
that's what I want.
I think for me, I think it'll depend on the celebrity that is going to be on that episode, and that'll determine whether I watch that episode.
But Jujubee's coming back. She's one of the. I love it. She's like Cher within the RuPaul world. She just It'll be Jujubee and cockroaches left. And Cher. Because literally, she is the one queen for the RuPaul franchise that has been on so many.
She's lost 4 times now. In the top.
Yeah.
In the top 3.
She was on
lost
All
4
Stars
times.
Twice.
She was on her own season. She lost.
She was on Queens of the Universe. And then there was one other one. It's because she did 5. Oh, she did the celebrity before, or Drag You. 5. So this will be her 6th time within the franchise.
I mean,
good for her. She's working.
Yeah.
But since we're talking RuPaul's Drag Race, some exciting news. As everybody knows, I'm a big comic book nerd. I love Marvel, all of that. Fans are speculating that they're within the next era of Marvel Universe stuff, that Miss Shea Coulee may be cast, or she is cast, in an upcoming Marvel series that's going to be on Disney, Ironheart, which I know the comic. So she's cast in it, but they haven't said what her role is.
Yeah.
But back in, I want to say 2014, I could be wrong for all you comic book guys, they had their first drag superhero in the Marvel Universe. And it was, the character's original name was Shade, but then I think they revamped her name to
Shade Coulee.
I know, right? Shade to Dark Veil. So, and it's a drag queen superhero. And here for people watching, tell me that does not look like Shea Coulee, the character.
Oh, yeah.
So her superpower is with her fan, she can teleport by dropping her
She
fan.
clacks and
and
teleports
she
people?
teleports where she wants.
Oh, my God.
Great.
What would your drag superpower be?
Oh, God. Make Twinkies fat and then make the bears into Twinks. So then they panic. They don't know what to do.
I think mine would be like I would snap my finger and it'd make the other person do a death drop so I could just run away.
Oh, you know what mine would be? I'd snap my fingers at a queen and she would get Miriam T's hair from the Goonies number as chunk. That's what their wigs just turn into, these simple old lady bobs.
Yeah.
That's it. No?
Yeah.
Or
no.
I snap my fingers and everybody has Miriam T's first makeup mug.
Oh.
No, that's bad.
This old twat.
Or Jinx Monsoon's old nose. That would be funny too. Anyways.
Whoa. You're really coming for them today. Jesus.
But I'm excited. Shea Coulee is by far one of my favorite queens that's been on the
I
franchise.
agree.
And like I said before, her first album outside of Drag Race was so good. Didn't get any play, but there's so many good songs on there. So I think she is the perfect fit to play Dark Veil.
Yeah.
I think it is perfect. I think it's so cool that they're bringing in a drag superhero.
Yeah.
Because in Doctor Strange, we got our first glimpse of American Chavez, who is the first Latino superhero to be in the Marvel universe, and she's a lesbian in the comic book. So I'm hoping they give her own series.
That would be cool.
Yeah, I love that Shea Coulee is gonna.
Yeah, Shea Coulee has such a presence about her. Like whenever she's in full drag, she just looks so commanding, and I think that would be so amazing as a superhero.
I do too.
Yeah,
and I think she'll do great as an actress too.
Yeah.
The other one I think from the Legends season is Jinx needs to be in a TV show or something.
My God, Jinx needs to be
something.
Did you see her TikTok after she won?
No. Oh, was it her and Bendela?
No, it's her on the phone, and she goes, "We did it, Joe. We did it." It's the Kamala Harris.
Yes. Stupid.
I was dying.
Stupid. Well, okay, back to RuPaul. What celebrities would you want to see on RuPaul getting a drag makeover?
Well, while I'm thinking of that, I can tell you Vanessa Williams so far has been my favorite one of she was so good on that show.
I loved watching her on Queens of the Universe. If you guys haven't seen it. Okay, Queens of the Universe was very interesting. Hold on, because it was a singing competition. Hold on, somebody's ringing my door. Hold on, you guys. Call again. There. No, right in the middle of the show.
Your grinder hookups trying
to ruin my show.
When they're 5 minutes early.
So Queens of the Universe was the show where they did live singing.
Yeah.
And I have to say it was highly entertaining. Also, it was the judges made the show for me. Because you had Vanessa Williams, Trixie Mattel, and then you had
Leona Lewis.
And then Michelle Visage.
Yes.
All of them together were so entertaining. And the feedback that Vanessa Williams gave.
Yeah.
And I love her.
And I love just seeing Trixie in a different like on a judging panel too.
Have you, because I'm obsessed with Trixie and Katya, have you seen on Discovery Plus the whole I watched the whole season?
Oh, I don't have Discovery. I feel like I need to get it. Is it good?
Just for the Trixie Mattel series, it was worth it.
Yeah.
You get to see David, her partner, and I'm like, God, they really are like opposites attract, but they so love each other. And him as a person, I was like, I would totally hang out with him.
Yeah.
He just seems so cool, and this just enough snark to keep it entertaining, but like he just looks like a bald little bear running around with Trixie. But you see the ins and outs of their relationship, and I just had more respect after. So I'm like, she's just not a drag queen. She is like an entrepreneur. She's just like, really, really knows how to put her brand out there.
And I love we're like two things. I love that we're kind of stamping our name back on Palm Springs as this is our gay place. Like, I love that. And I also loved how Trixie did the promotion of like, Like she was taking jabs of like, oh, I can't wait for Middle America to log in and realize this isn't a straight couple doing a makeover show.
Exactly. It's two gays in the desert.
A drag queen in the desert.
Yeah, I know. And she's like the first one to brand a whole motel.
Yeah.
If you haven't watched, so every room is a new theme.
Yeah.
And the themes for the room are so perfect. Like one's a flamingo theme, and it's all retro, her style.
Yeah.
One's like, okay, one of the episodes was great because it was like the futuristic, and they brought in Juno Birch.
Oh.
And she brings in her celebrity friends,
Yeah.
and like
Smart.
Leslie Jordan came in for an episode. Of course,
Awesome.
Katya comes in for the final one.
Yeah.
But it was really good.
I'll
Like
have
it was
to
a
watch
cool
that.
series.
Yeah.
Like it was fun. So I was really looking forward. I talked about this before the break.
Yeah.
New TV show is coming out called The Sandman by Neil Gersh.
What
Gershman?
channel is that
It's on Netflix.
Okay.
The guy that wrote it was the one who wrote American Gods.
Okay.
That was on Showtime. Book was great. He wrote the book Stardust, which is one of my favorite movies. So this is a new series from the same writer, the book. So the series has so much. It looked amazing from the trailer visually.
Yeah.
So I started watching the first episode, and I was like, okay, I'm into this. This looks really cool, dark, and all of that stuff with the Sandman and gods. Second episodes towards the end, I was starting to go, oh, this is getting a little cheesy. Like it's just feels cheesy. Like what happened? It took a turn. So I started episode 3, and I'm on the fence. I'm like, they bring in the character Constantine, but it's a female, and she's a really bad actress. So I don't know if I should. I couldn't get through the third episode. I had to stop. And now I don't know whether, like when you start watching a show and you have such high hopes for it, and you're like, do I power through the 10 episodes or just go, you know what? I tried and stop.
My last show that I did that was the one with Maya Rudolph, where on Apple TV.
Loop or something like I know which
I
one
think
you're
so.
talking about. She's
she's basically Jeff Bezos' wife.
Yeah.
Going through a divorce.
Yeah.
And it started out as a great concept and really awesome.
But then
it just kept going.
I was like,
boring.
Yeah.
And actually not how rich people act.
That's what I was going to say.
Yeah.
Not at all.
They don't act that way. It was very unbelievable.
Because we're so rich, we know.
Well,
we know how they act.
Actually,
No,
I mean, I've worked with some rich people
and
before.
they don't.
They don't act that way.
They're very private, and they're very.
They don't have a 50 employee staff. They have like 4. And
they have 2 people,
and they've worked with them for like 30 years too.
And when they're 2 people, their mom and their dog. That's it. The dog's like does the butler at the same time.
Yeah, no, a lot of that was very unbelievable.
Yeah, I was like. Yeah, I watched the first episode, and our past host, Bash, was raving about it. And so I was like, oh, maybe it's good. Then I was like, oh, no, I can't.
He has
Sorry.
terrible taste.
He has horrible taste. In men and in TV shows. No, I'm kidding. I'm kidding. Just his personal
Well, he's
style.
friends with us. So why would he be? He must have terrible
That's the only taste he has. No, we're terrible people. So let's just be real. We're terrible.
Yeah, we're terrible. You're terrible, Muriel.
But yeah, I was disappointed in that.
Yeah.
So I went and started rewatching an old show because I tend to do that if a show disappoints me. I'm like, yeah, fuck this. I'm gonna go back to one of The Real O'Neills. It only lasted 2 seasons, and it had Martha Plimpton in it, and it was about this Irish Catholic family with a gay son. I forgot how amazing the show was, and it got canceled after the second season.
What era? Like when?
It was maybe in the mid 2000s.
Huh.
Yeah, it wasn't too long ago.
Interesting.
Yeah, I loved it.
Huh.
I love that. It was within the last 6 years.
I binge watched a new show on Netflix called How to Change Your Mind.
Oh,
about
I
psychedelics.
Yes. What did it change your mind?
It did. I'm actually considering going on mushrooms and psilocybin.
Wait, instead of your regular antidepressant?
It with my so I'm not on an antidepressant. I'm on an anti-anxiety, but I might try psilocybin to see if that helps with my anxiety.
So what's the difference? Like what?
So it's interesting. I mean, I've only kind of researched what I know, and I know that you take the minimum dosage, and then you see how you feel, and then the next day you increase it again, and then you increase it again, and you keep increasing it until you actually feel like you're high, and then you go down a dosage, and then that's the dosage you're at. So you don't feel anything daily, but supposedly it helps with like connections and like getting in touch with herself, and it kind of rewires things in your brain.
So are you high the whole time or no?
I guess technically you are, but it's such a low dosage that you don't feel like you're high.
Oh.
Yeah. So I don't know.
I want to do it. I just want to be high all the time. I want to have no consciousness. I just want to float around.
So I have a person, and I'm looking into it, and I'm really considering it.
Okay, so will you talk about it on the show? Like you're
how I
taking
feel.
It and I'm very curious about this because this is like one of the hot topics that people are doing is microdosing.
Yeah.
And because now that cannabis is pretty much legal in almost every state.
Right.
Or there's laws or they're trying to legalize as much.
Right.
So what is it?
It's psilocybin.
Psilocybin is the next one up that I feel here in California is probably going to become somewhat legal at some point.
So they were actually, this documentary is fascinating. So it's originally this guy who wrote a book, and then they've turned this book into the documentary.
Yeah.
And each there's like 5 episodes. Each episode is an individual psychedelic. And so what they were saying is that they actually believe that MDMA will probably be the next one in the next like 5 years will probably be legal. Maybe like as soon as 2 will be legal to be used in clinical settings.
Oh, so they can do more studies.
They can do more studies, but even prescribed,
that.
so as microdosing to be used as like a clinical therapy of how to, like it's used a lot in PTSD and even our government is starting to use it for like soldiers that are coming back.
I didn't know that.
From war and like and so. Yeah, it's really interesting. So it goes into a lot of history of like what the early, like how it was discovered, how the early clinical trials of it were used, why it became banned. Most of it interesting was like Nixon and then Reagan.
The Republican Party.
Which
fucking everything up.
I'm not ruining anything, but like this is one little tidbit. It was actually Nixon during the Vietnam War was the first war that young people said, "Oh, I'm not going to go fight this war."
Yeah.
And so Nixon blamed it on psychedelics, and that's why that became the enemy. And from then on, it was the enemy of the people. Yeah. And I know it was that one decision
GOP
by one
fuckers.
fucking asshole. And so now we're trying
me.
and so now we're trying to turn it back. And so they even have an episode on peyote and like understanding Native American culture and the legalities that exist with that. It was really well done and really fascinating.
And it's on Netflix, right?
It's on Netflix, yeah. It was.
What is it called again?
How to Change Your Mind. Highly recommend.
How to Change Your Mind. Don't listen to this show. Oh God! But how do you change your mind? Okay.
Yeah. So I'm considering. I'm debating whether I start it like after I get back from Croatia.
I say after.
Yeah, because I don't want to start and stop, and I definitely don't want to travel with it. And
no.
Yeah.
We'll be like, Eric, who? We don't know her. I'm like, no, this isn't going to be. What? Do you remember that movie with
I was Broke Down Palace.
Yes, yes. You're on the same
Claire
page.
Danes.
Claire Danes, and it was Kate Beckinsale.
Yes,
you're so good. I am not going to be your Kate Beckinsale to your Claire Danes, bitch. No Breakdown Palace for me. I'm gonna be like, I don't know her.
God,
leave her.
I knew exactly what you were talking about.
You saw me searching for it.
I loved that movie.
I know.
Yeah, it was so good.
I would leave you. And guess who else I would leave?
Do you remember the cockroach crawled into her ear in the middle of the night?
That's why I sleep with earplugs. But since we're talking about Broke Down Palace and being institutionalized, it's time for this bit. We haven't done this segment in a while, dude. All right, I know.
Carol, for once in your life, shut your damn mouth.
Yeah, Carol. I know you have a Carol. What is it?
Oh, I remember my Carol. I've had this issue for many years. I know it affects other people. I don't understand why it's not been fixed. But the Apple Dictionary, why does it forget common words that I use all the time?
Like cock.
But not even that, but like the word like flown. It will autocorrect it to something else. It's a normal word in the English dictionary.
Not for
I've
Apple.
used it before, and then like one day it just decides it doesn't know what that word is anymore. And I don't understand why it happens.
Yeah, why does that happen?
Why hasn't this
so
been
weird.
figured out this many years? We're on 16 years of iOS. Why has this not been fixed? Drives me insane.
You know what my Carol is?
What?
AT&T.
Oh.
I have been on the phone with fucking AT&T, my carrier, for the longest this whole week. The other thing is okay, if you've been a customer for somebody since early 2003, 2004, and you're aware that this customer's plan is so out of date that it's considered a dinosaur.
Does your plan have like Telegram messaging on
Pretty
it?
much. Where I had a call for this trip.
Wiretapping.
Okay, I'm going to tell you this. I had a call for this trip to get my phone set up to go to Croatia, right?
Yeah.
I was on the phone with them for over an hour.
Yeah.
They couldn't figure out how to do the international, and it turns out my plan is so ancient.
They were like, "Sir, we don't know what singular is."
Yes. Sir, this is just stone. It's a stone wall. It's like cave paintings.
Your original plan was a cup with a wire and another cup.
That was your original plan. So I ended up having to upgrade my plan because I had how they put it, a great grandfather plan.
Not even grandfather.
No,
you're a great grandfather.
Yeah, is how
Wow.
the person on the phone told me.
Wow.
And I was like, now you tell me? Now there's a warning? So I ended up having to get that done.
Didn't
and
you
then,
say you told me earlier it didn't even have 5G? They couldn't
No.
even make that work.
And she's like, oh, yeah, the phone you have, too, is pretty old. It doesn't even have 5G. And I was like,
Wow.
well, it works good for me. So I ended up having to get a new phone on top of it.
Still can leave voicemails. It's
I
got the
can send
big
a
buttons
text,
on it. I
yes.
can see the buttons.
What do you mean it don't flip? These new phones don't flip. That's my Carol, fucking AT&T.
Wow. Yeah, that's a good one.
I know. Okay, we're going to do another. Those are our carols since it's just me and Eric this week.
Yeah.
Okay, last segment of the show. We haven't done this.
Yeah.
An obsession, something you're obsessed
Yeah.
about.
Yeah.
What is it? What's your
Oh,
click?
sorry.
It's click of
I
the
thought
week, you guys.
We're waiting for the music.
No. Talk over that bullshit.
Mine is
Okay, stop.
There's this
Stop.
Instagram account, and it's so silly and so
What
stupid.
is it?
It's called Nobody Sausage, and
Nobody
it's
Sausage.
these
Oh, God, I know
fluorescent
this
colored
one.
sausages that have wigs on and clothes, and usually dance to like Latin music and shake their little butts. And every
Does
single
it remind
one,
you of Caesar? Is that why? You can say it. He's not here. He left the room.
maybe a little bit, yeah.
Blink twice. No.
But they're so like cute and adorable, and
Yeah.
like they're just silly, and they make me laugh and smile every
And
time.
want
so-
sausage.
well, yeah. I mean, you can't be mad at a sausage.
Can you? I can.
What's his name, and what did he do to you?
Oh,
What's his grinder
Grindr
screen
show.
name?
sausage for you. No, I'm kidding.
Nobody sausage.
Nobody sausage.
Same.
same. Mine is kind. You'll have to find this person on TikTok and Instagram. I'm not sure who did it, but one of my friends, Christina, who's been on the show, she gave me a gift this week, and it's the best thing ever for our audience. Look, if you can see these. I'm showing them on camera.
So these are little gnomes that are cholos.
They are literally garden gnomes
Yeah.
painted like cholos, two twin ones, one for me and one for my twin brother Manny.
Oh, and they have their Converse on.
Yes, and it says
Their bandana among their
Vato
gnome
Loco
hats.
and 187. For people who don't know, I have a small obsession with gnomes. I have them all over my house. People have been giving them to me, God, for years.
It's funny, a small obsession of gnomes. 'Cause
Why do you
gnomes are small.
I
anyways.
know. Did you like that?
I did.
So this is to add to my collection. Christina, my friend Chris, gave
They're
these.
very
to me.
cute.
And I know the guy that paints these is on TikTok because they also have the other ones I want to get is the gay gnomes.
Yeah.
Oh, where it's this woman who paints like she literally puts eyelashes on the gnomes.
Oh.
I want to get it, but
I
they're
wanna see
always sold
those.
out, just like these.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's my click. If I find it, I will put it in the link below. I'll do some research
in the show notes.
So then if you guys want to check it out, you can get it.
They're super cute.
They are super cute. I don't know. You remember that? I don't know if any of you out there remember this, but back in the 80s, 90s, when I was a child, there was this TV show on Nickelodeon called David the Gnome that I was slightly obsessed with. I don't know why, because he was an old gnome. Like he looked like Santa Claus, and he had a wife.
Watched a lot of those,
and
TV
he used
shows.
to
I don't
ride around
this.
on a fox.
No.
David the Gnome. I don't know why I was
No.
obsessed with that.
Huh.
And it kind of stuck with me, and then a small obsession with
that's
gnomes.
where it started.
Yeah, does that mean I like twinks? They're
I
small
don't
like
know.
gnomes.
Or do you like little twunks?
What's a twunk?
A twunk is a twink that's like thicker.
Maybe that's my thing.
I think you like maybe twunks.
Name of the episode: Twunk this. No. I think you like Twunks. Name of the episode. Oh my god! But you guys, that is our show. We did it. We made it all the way through. How do people find you?
You can find me on Instagram at Daddy Bear Eric.
Yes, you can follow the show at Who Invited Her _podcast on Instagram or Who Invited Her SD on Facebook and Twitter. Do not forget to send us an email, thegang@whoinvitedher.net. If you're watching us on YouTube, hit that subscribe button. Leave us a comment. It helps us a lot. What else am I missing? Nothing. Next week's our last show.
Episode of the season.
I know. And then we're going to take a long, deserved break. Come back in October. Also, don't forget, October 1st is actually Red Dress here in San Diego.
Oh, yes.
So you can go to reddress.com and get tickets, I believe. I know we're going to be there this year. That might be like our first show is getting ready for Red Dress.
Yeah, that would be a good one.
Yeah.
I have no idea what I'm wearing.
I have no idea either, but it's going to be fun.
It'll be a great time.
It will. But you guys, that is it, I believe, for us this week. We're done, right?
Yeah.
I mean,
play that music. And let the music play.
You guys, bye. We will see everybody.